Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Buff Breakdown. It's been a good while again since they released any buffs, and today we got the fourth batch of welfares added to the permanent welfare shop. As you can see from the picture, we got Sieg, Kuro, and Irisfeel now being added for people to be able to purchase and get their coins, etc. And we did get just one buff today, and you could probably guess which of those three got the buff. Yeah, if you said nothing else besides Irisfeel, I got bad news for you. So, luckily, it's on her. Yes, indeed. Because in my opinion, she was arguably just the worst welfare in the entire game, by far. Borderline unusable before the buff. Now, will this buff change too much? We'll see. I can at least tell you that the buff itself is good. It's a significant buff. So it's a skill buff, so let's immediately start breaking down what it does. So it's a buff to her first skill. Now what it used to do is, by the way, this was her worst skill as well, so I'm very glad to see this buffed. On a 7-turn cooldown, you get 50% healing up for 1 turn on self. How insanely terrible was that? Like, seriously. It's arguably one of the worst skills in the entire game. Like, sure, she has a couple of heals. Her third skill has a single target heal, and her MP obviously has an AoE heal as well. So obviously synergy is real effect-wise, but on a 7-turn cooldown, that was absolutely terrible. No one should have a skill this terrible. It's ridiculous. So I'm glad they fixed it and then some. Let's see what they did. On the same 7-turn cooldown, what they first of all did is they buffed the amount that she gets for healing up for herself. It's now 100%, so they flat out doubled the number. Goes up to 100%. Great. And now, very importantly, no longer also 1 turn, but rather a 3-turn healing up for self. Great, so that's already so much better. Now, obviously, if this was all they did, this would still be a very weak skill. So what else did they did? They added a 50% battery for herself. That's really, really good and needed, honestly, because for anyone that has never used Irisfeel, you might not know, but her MP gain is terrible. Even with her second skill active that gives her up to 30% MP gain, it is terrible. Her face cards will basically do nothing, and she's completely reliant on participating in arch chains to get some bonus battery. So them adding a very big 50% battery is a big help, needless to say. But that's not all. Now, on top of changing the original effect to be much better and adding the big battery, they added a second new effect. So now, for 3 turns, every ally except herself on the field gets up to 30% MP damage for 3 turns as well. This is very cool, actually. They give her a bit more of a offensive presence, because really, besides that, there's literally nothing else. Like, none of the things in her kit does anything to help with the damage of your team. So at least she has something now. Very interesting. So now on a 7-turn cooldown, this skill is looking a lot better. I still think even on top of all these big changes, they probably still could have made this a 6-turn cooldown. I feel like that would have helped even more. But it's certainly completely night and day compared to what it used to be. So that's great. Now, this skill is certainly still very solid right now. Now, again, how big will this impact be? Now, first of all, there's a lot of problems with Irisfeel. I already mentioned one of them. Her horrible MP gain is just trash. That's one big problem, and this helps with a little bit of that. Now, second big problem is that healing meta, which she really still is mostly for, it's kind of dead in the sense that, you know, usually when it comes to defensive mechanics, healing tends to be one of the weakest. I mean, it's great to have, especially if the fight drags on, but nowadays when people are just going for min turns and whatnots, and you know, you're some of the hardest bosses just either one-shotting you or not doing any damage at all, there's hardly usually ever any in-between. So yeah, that's another huge problem she has, her like role in the game. And then finally, the third and big problem is the existence of Mr. Asclepius, who is very similar, but in my opinion, so much better. Like, let's do some comparison here real fast, just on top of this. Iris Field's third skill. It's a single target heal for 3k on a 5-turn cooldown. Asclepius' first skill. It's a single target heal for 5k with a 50% debuffs resistance as well for the target for 3 turns. Now you might say, oh, just use her first skill now. Now it heals for 6k. Honestly, this is still the better skill. I would gladly trade 1k healing for 50% debuff rest for 3 turns any day of the week. And again, this healing active won't be up all the time anyway. In fact, it's up less than half the time because again, remember, it's a 7-turn cooldown on max rank, so we won't even have this most of the time. So while it does help with this, it's still the worst skill. Second skill, she gets 30% MP gain for herself. Asclepius gives 30% MP gain for the whole team. And while for Iris Field, her MP gain, it doesn't help her. This definitely helps Asclepius because his face card gains are actually decent. Unlike Iris Field, who can't face card gain at all. Even on solo, the numbers are not pretty. Like you can see this, like even her MP gain is literally 0.42. Asclepius 0.81 are more or less double that of Iris Field's. And their MPs are obviously very similar as well. One doing heal over time, one doing healing instantly, then there's Guts. Now, the one downside of Asclepius is that he doesn't get the Guts himself, but it's hardly, you know, gonna make him be worse than Iris Field. Not even close. So yeah, I think Iris Field still has a lot of problems. But hey, I'm very, very, very happy that she finally got buffed. Because man, she was absolutely the worst welfare in the game. And this is a big buff, regardless. But if I had to guess, we're probably not going to see her be picked all too much often. Now again, there is the MP damage still on her skill now. So, you know, again, this is the only damaging increase for your teammates that she does. And you're not going to bring her for this. Let's be real. You're never going to bring her for this. But it's still a cute little bonus. Although I have a feeling she's mostly going to be used in stall teams anyway. Where MP gain probably has diminished value anyway. Or MP damage rather. So again, yeah. I mean, it's just a bonus if anything. Now on my caster tier list this year, I had her placed absolutely at the bottom. Is she as bad as Geronimo even pre-buff? I don't know, maybe not. But honestly, would anyone ever really pick her before the buff? Not really, though. Even the solos are mostly memes. I just don't see it. And even with this, I don't know, man. I'm just... like, we can also compare it to Media Lily, I guess, who's another healer. But I still think both Media Lily and especially Asclepius are just so much better options, honestly. Even if she's a free MP5... oh yeah, I didn't mention, but with this skill active on max rank, you do get a 6k heal for the full party. Obviously, she's a free MP5, so it actually does heal quite a bit now. But again, how useful will healing meta even be moving forward? I guess we'll see. Maybe they have some bosses in mind that are going to be like full-on dots and whatnot that consistently reduce your HP, but not with like, you know, big crits that could one-shot you. So, I don't know. I think she's worthy of a C tier now. Maybe even higher. I would have to do some labbing or maybe see some other people do like some fun comps to maybe come up with uses that I can't right now. Because again, I'm just recording this very fast as this buff is coming out. I think I'll place her like in the C tier now, just right there next to Media. Again, I do like this buff. It's good. It's a great buff. The skill is now like 5 times better than what it used to be. Well, it used to be one of the worst, so it doesn't take too much. But there you go. That's Iris Field's buff, I suppose. Obviously, not surprised at all that they didn't buff Kuro and or C, because they obviously have very solid roles in the game already. So this was the much deserved buff. So there you go. We got another buff breakdown. Yay. You're gonna see some more highlights coming your way from free-to-play side and other fun stuff that I come up with. And if you enjoyed this buff breakdown, do me a solid as usual and press the thumbs up button on this video. And again, do subscribe not to miss out on future buff breakdowns. I'll try to do these immediately as soon as new buffs always come out. So look forward to those. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care and peace out.